What is up, guys? So in this video, I am going to be talking about how much silver do you need to retire. And this is going to go towards my fellow 30-year-olds. And they suggest that you have about $1.7 million in order to retire comfortably. And I know that sounds like a lot, but if you have 401k going, if you have property, things like that could start adding up. And of course, your silver. So I'm going to go over a couple numbers here just so you could see how many ounces of silver you could end up with and how many ounces of silver $1.7 million actually is. So to figure out how much silver you would need, what you would have to do is actually deduct your assets from 1.7 million. Now, keep in mind, guys, everybody's different, and some of us are a little bit more of a minimalist than others. But if you want to go by that 1.7 million, then you need to deduct your assets from that number and do the math, and that's how you'll figure out how much silver you'll actually need. But for an example, if you were to stack 10 ounces of silver a month, you would end up with 120 ounces at the end of the year. If you did that for 10 years, you would end up with 1,200 ounces of silver. If you did that over the course of 30 years, so if you're figuring to retire by in your 60s and you're in your 30s, that's 3,600 ounces of silver. And if you multiply that by 18, so let's figure that silver is around the 18 mark. All the numbers that I did with silver being at 18 or selling your silver at $18, which obviously we don't know where silver is going to be in 30 years, but that's just the average number that I decided to come up with, which is 18. So if you were to do that, you would end up with $64,800 worth of silver in 30 years. And with the prices now, that is about 10 ounces of silver a month would be about $200 a month that you would have to put away in silver. So once again, guys, if you have 401ks or assets, your home, things like that. So whatever money you would get out of your home, you would deduct from the amount of silver that you would need. So you just do the math that way. So now if you wanted to double up and do 20 ounces a month, you would end up with 240 ounces of silver a month. You did that for 10 years, it would be 2,400 ounces. 30 years, 7,200 ounces. And if you multiply that by $18, it'd be $129,000 in silver. But just to put it in perspective, $1.7 million in silver is 94,444 ounces. And that would be about 262 ounces a month, which is a little bit over $4,000 a month that you would have to spend. So that ends up being 3,148 ounces a year for 30 years in order to get that 94,444 ounces of silver, which is $1.7 million, which is crazy. So the best way to do it, you don't want to fully retire just on your silver. You want to have other things going. So, property is always going to be a great asset, especially for retirement. And then you have your 401k, which I highly suggest, even though I know a lot of people are against the 401k and they say 401k is not going to be around. You should have some money in your stocks or, like I said, 401k, especially if your company matches. And whatever your company matches, I suggest doing. So if your company matches up to 4%, I suggest doing at least 4%. That's free money that you're just kind of letting go if you're not doing it. So whatever you end up getting, that's what you could start deducting from the amount of silver you would need. And, I'm just doing silver really as like a bonus to the retirement. I have about, I would say like $20,000 worth of precious metals, worth the gold and silver combined. It's about 20 grand. Then I have a home, I have the 401k, I have an HSA, I have my stocks. And so what I do is just deduct all those other assets, and that would show me how much exactly I would need in silver. But the main part, the difference between those other assets or those other investments with silver is that you're preserving your wealth. This is a hedge fund, so it fights against inflation and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different. It's just you want to be able to accumulate as much silver as you can. Silver and gold. Gold will always be king. Let's be honest. Gold will always be king. Gold is always the first metal out of all the metals to start moving, and then silver is usually the one that trails afterwards. We're seeing it happen right now. So if you're a new stacker, I've been getting a lot of messages, a lot of private messages, a lot of emails about whether they should be buying right now, whether they should be selling, which I absolutely think you should not be selling. But if you're new, I completely understand your fear with the silver prices. I mean, you're coming into something that's new, and you're coming in at a time where silver is hitting its 3-year high. And every day we're waking up and we're just seeing silver making these leaps and bounds, gaining 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents a day. And I could understand the fear about jumping into, precious metals when they're performing at the moment. My advice to you guys, and keep in mind, guys, I am not a financial advisor or anything like that. I try and help you guys with your personal finance as much as I can, but it's just advice. You got to make your own decisions at the end of the day. But when I first came into silver, and I've mentioned this before in a lot of other videos, but silver was at like $30 an ounce. I think actually when I first started looking at silver, it was in the 40s. And as soon as I bought my first bit of silver, I mean, almost instantaneously, I saw silver prices starting to come down, and it was terrifying. So, but what that showed me, and I'm going to share this with you guys, that time period basically showed what silver and gold are capable of. So we know they have the potential to get up there again to $30 to $40. And I think within 30 years, if you're in your 30s like me, it's going to happen at least once or twice where it's going to go up into the 30s and 40s. I think it will happen again. This most recent silver run that we're on, I think is a temporary one. I think within the next 3 months or so, silver is going to start leveling out, gold is going to start leveling out. And, there's just a lot of questions that aren't being answered the way a lot of investors want them to be answered. And there's too many question marks around the market, and the stock market has just been getting pounded for the last several months. So that's what's driving the prices right now, but I think it's all temporary. This is not the silver to the moon scenario that everybody's saying. I don't think it's happening yet. But if you're new, it's still a good time to buy. Silver's still a value buy at $18.50. I think it's still a great buy, and the main focus is that it's preserving your wealth and it's locking up your money. Like I said, I made this video a while back, Silver, the Ultimate Savings Account, and a lot of people agree with me and a lot of people didn't, which I knew when I was making the video it was going to be kind of split. But you're locking your money up. In order to get this money, if you ever want to impulsively buy or anything like that, you have to go and sell this stuff, and it's a hassle. So you're still saving your money. So my advice to you guys would be to steadily continue to accumulate silver, maybe at a slower pace than what you want at the moment. Let's see what silver does over the next 3 months or so. But I really think that it's either going to come back down or it's going to eventually level at somewhere in the 17 range. And it's just going to kind of linger there for a while. We were spoiled because silver was hanging around in the 15s for a long, long time. And we were extremely spoiled. So now seeing $18 plus silver is just like a little bit of a wake-up call, and it's kind of a downer because none of us are really ready to stop stacking or, retire, So just continue to do what you're doing, and it could actually benefit you if you're newer because it's going to force you to slow down a bit, and it'll give you time to get your feet wet and learn about all the different varieties of silver and kind of help you not make a mistake. So regardless, guys, like I said, in order for you to retire just on silver, you would need a lot of silver. Okay, so I definitely suggest having other things going. The stock market's been getting pounded, so eventually there's going to be, like, for example, I took my stocks, a lot of my growth stocks I sold, but there's going to be a point where I'm going to go right back into the market because all the stocks are going to be nice and low. So I suggest doing the same at some point. So yeah, guys, that's my little advice to you guys. Retirement with your silver, you would need about $1.7 million, and I wouldn't even know what storing 94,000 ounces of silver would look like. So, but anyways, guys, I just wanted to tell you guys that because, like I said, I've been getting a lot of personal emails, side conversations, and comments about, am I buying? What should I do? And stuff like that. So, and I know lately I've been posting a lot of videos about me selling between the auction and the website, but that is not me discreetly offloading my silver, or I'm not in code red, like, oh man, I gotta offload my silver, or trying to make a little bit of extra money. I would not sell any of my silver until it hits a decent amount. $18.50 is not what I've been waiting for. So I'm still buying. Like I said, I've slowed down a little bit because I am trying to fund the auctions on Monday. I'm trying to fund the store for you guys, and I'm also trying to accumulate. So it's been difficult, and I'm not gonna lie, at times it's been a little counterproductive. But I'm doing the auctions because it's a great way for me to kind of interact with this community, the Guidosstackin community. There's 6,400 of us now, and I have a great time in those auctions on Monday night. And I just enjoy hanging out with you guys and just kind of relaxing and just be myself, and it's just different. So that's why I do the auctions. And then as far as the website, I'm just trying to provide silver to you guys, and from a trusted source, and that's another way for me to kind of interact with you guys and take this channel to the next level. So but yeah, like I said, I've never seen any other YouTuber with their own store selling their own metals and stuff like that. I thought it would be pretty interesting to do, and I'm just really passionate about this stuff right here. So any way I can help you guys, I will definitely do it. But anyways, so that's pretty much it. Hope this video helps you a little bit, gives you a little perspective about how much silver you would actually need to retire, and how you should be stacking with these high silver prices. So I will talk to you guys later.